may we call on the third place, Straight Arrow Corporation, to come up on stage. Congratulations, Straight Arrow Corporation. Next, for the second place, Toshiba Information Equipment Philippines Inc. Congratulations, Toshiba Information Equipment. And now, for the winner of the 2-minute Creating a Culture of Wellness video, may we call on South Star Drug Incorporated. Thank you very much, South Star Drug Incorporated.
So let me just do a brief President's report. And I would like to title this report as we've been finished to the next 5 months. Because I've been in this job for 7 months now. It's not that I'm counting every month, but last weekend, I saw that how time just flew by and there's 5 months to go. And we just have to make the best out of it. So let me just give you some nuggets of what's happening. I can't possibly enumerate all the great things that are happening but that are not attributable to me, but mainly to the BOP, to the membership. I just give you a flavor of what's happening. Yesterday, I was with past President Mon Medina and Nonong Contreras and the Golden Negosyo crowd in Malacanang, where we provided support. So could we have the next slide, please? Hello. Where we provided support. One more push in terms of helping the families of the fallen 101 soldiers in Marami. So I'd like to just show you a 4-minute video that has really touched the hearts of the business community. So please roll the video.
Salamat sa pagmamahal mo sa amin, hindi mo kami pinabayaan. At saka sana masaya ka na ngayon, gusto ka man naroroon. Pipilitin ko maging magtatag para sa iyo pa, tsaka para sa mga bata. Masaya kami kasi yung sundalo yung asawa namin. Kaya lang ang paliwanag lagi na sa akin. Alam mo, sundalo lagi na isang paanas ako kahit sa kami pumunta, kahit anong oras pwede nangyayari sa amin. Hindi ko po kasi akalain na mangyayari po din sa akin yung nangyayari po sa iba na nawawala yung asawa. Sobra-sobra po kami proud. Kahit material na bagay, hindi kayang pantayan yung ginawa niya para sa bayan natin. Then, kahit wala ka na, mami, hindi namin alam na ganito pala ang mangyayari, hindi na siya para kami nawalan ng ng poste. Naawa ako sa mga anak ko na hindi nila maranas ang patanda na kasama ang father nila. Parang natatakot ako haharap sa buhay na wala siya ba? Although we are mourning for his loss, we are very proud po na hero siya. Proud na proud ako sa iyo na kasi hindi ko na-expect na ganyan yung mo. Ma-achieve mo.
Nabomba sila, yung dalawa niya kasama ni rescue niya. Pag rescue niya, na-snipe siya.
Sobrang hirap ba yung kasama niya sila, hindi ka makatulong. Iniisip mo yung disturbo mo anong sitwasyon nila doon. Na kahit wala ka siya, huwag mo akong iwan. Na ganyan talaga kung na maanok na yung mga bata. Yan ba talaga iniisip ko? My love, mahal na mahal kita. Huwag ka na pag-alala sa amin. Ang anak mo. Halagaan mo siya mabuti. Parang ako namatay din. Kasi marami talaga kami mga pag-alala para sa amin. Ang anak, sabi nga niya gusto daw niya pag-birthday naman niya. Gusto niya nandun siya, kaso wala na siya. Iniwan niya na kami. Sa totoo lang, hindi ko pa talaga magagawa sa sarili ko na iniwan niya na kami. Kahit masakit sa akin na wala siya. Proud na proud ako sa kanya. Kasi isa siyang mayani kahit buhay na yung kapalit.
So in response to this, your board has tasked Executive Director Rene with myself to actually help the Fallen 101 in Marawi. We're still figuring out whether we will do a pledge or we will provide scholarships. But this is something that we have already committed to Joey Concepcion. So it's just a matter of time before we get to physically help out. Okay, so the main event for the rest of the year is actually the 54th annual PMAP conference, and that will be on October 11 to 12 at the Marriott in Pasay City. So please register as early as possible. I understand that there's about 540 guests, registered guests now. So this promises to be the biggest PMAP annual conference yet. In addition to the 54th PMAP annual conference, where actually the slides seem to be okay. I thought the heading was truncated, but in September, 1 month before the annual conference, we're in discussions with the Human Capital Leadership Institute of Singapore in terms, JP, you know this, right? ACLI, in terms of hosting an ASEAN Leadership Forum. In November, given that there was a PMAP group that went to Silicon Valley, we would like to replicate that experience in an Asian Silicon Valley program where we get to visit about 4 or 5 companies, and we will open it to the HR community. So this is going to be exciting because innovation, disruption, we would see in operation in Philippine companies, and we will really be showing how it is done, how it is applied, and how it is demonstrated. This month, there would be the Philippine Mindanao Conference. In fact, it starts tomorrow. It would be in Bukidnon. In fact, I asked Trustee Jerry Plana to come with us, but I think we've got other activities, right? But I'll be going there myself and coming back Friday, and I think there's a few PMAPers that would be visiting Bukidnon, martial law or no martial law. Next month, through the trustee Nenet of PMAP Cebu, there's going to be the Cebu Regional Conference. It would be in Cebu City, and again, there's going to be PMAPers as speakers, as participants, and as you can see, we're nationwide. Visayas and Mindanao are with us. Although I don't see Trustee Nenet here, Trustee Vivian, I hope they have to return. Yeah? Okay. So one in Bukidnon, one in Cebu over the next 2 weeks. This Saturday, open to the past presidents and the committee chairs. We're going to do a mid-year PMAP town hall meeting where essentially we would be discussing ideas, possibilities, and opportunities for a better PMAP in the future. So this is our way of making sure that we continue to provide better membership value and services to all of you. After the town hall meeting, we have our mid-year review, the Board of Trustees, what we call as our mid-course correction. Hopefully we get to know what are the good things that we're doing, what are the not so good things that we have to improve on, and what do we have to do to ensure the sustainability of PMAP success way beyond 2017. So on that note, I'd like to say mabuhay and enjoy the rest of the GMM. Thank you.
Afternoon, fellow PMAPers. May I request our new members for July to please rise and come up the stage. I think there's one on this side also. Okay. The membership committee is pleased to present to you 13 new corporate members and 2 individual members for the month of July. So as I call on the name of your company, please raise your hands or just step forward to be acknowledged. So to start off, may I call on Allied Care Experts, Medical Center Valenzuela Incorporated. Next, Belio Valdez, Caluya and Fernandez, JG Law. Easy Bio Philippines Incorporated. Euro-Asia Executive Search Incorporated. Pag-asa Steel Works Incorporated. FINMA Hospitality Incorporated. Royal Cold Storage Incorporated. San Miguel Holdings Corporation. Shenkor Philippines Incorporated. Society of St. Paul Incorporated. Toyota Otis Incorporated. Vital Strats Creative Solution Company. And VXI Global Holdings BV. And for our individual members, we have Mr. Benjamin Deodato Garcia and Miss Maybelline Chavez. Okay, so there you go. Here are our new members for July. And at this point, may I call on past President Attorney Noli Payos to lead the charging of our new members.
Thank you, Lily. You've just joined a very dynamic and active organization, and therefore we expect each one of you to answer our charging questions in a very large and loud voice. In the past, we always hear the loud voice, Commissioner Keyboard. This time, we want to hear from you. Okay? So the first question is, do you pledge to maintain your membership in good standing by complying with all rules, regulations, or directives of the PIMA?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't hear you. I can hear you. Otherwise, I will ask for people to I'll ask again. Do you pledge to maintain your membership in good standing by complying with all rules, regulations, or directives of the PIMA?
Yes.
That's better. Do you pledge to uphold the creed and code of ethics of the PMAP and to practice all the principles that the PMAP shall enunciate or promulgate?
Yes.
Do you pledge to attend all meetings of the PMAP, whether annual, regular, and special or committee meetings, and to vote on any matter referred to you by the PMAP whenever voting is necessary for any action that the PMAP shall take?
Yes.
Super. Do you pledge to pay your annual dues and other assessments?
Yes.
I'll ask again. Do you pledge to pay your annual dues and other assessments?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Attorney Noli. Now, I would like to call on our current President, President Juan Sigismundo, for the oath-taking. And to add solemnity, may I request everyone to please rise.
So please raise your right hand, everyone. I state your name of your company name. Recognize and accept the responsibility incumbent upon me as member of the People Management Association of the Philippines. I pledge myself to perform the task of my position in accordance with the PMAP Constitution and bylaws, and to be faithful to the traditions of our founding fathers, to observe and maintain high standards of performance in the practice of the people management profession, to uphold and protect the principles and objectives for which the association was founded, and to attend all meetings and deliver all results expected of me on time and in the highest standards of excellence. In discharging these obligations, I impose upon myself these responsibilities willfully and conscientiously and with zeal and dedication without purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, you are now members.
May I call on the other officers and the Board of Trustees of PMAP for the billing. Okay. Let's pose for one photo. Okay, please move forward for the picture taking. Dear, please move forward so that all will be seen. Okay, so there you go.
Let us all give them a warm round of applause.
Thank you very much, officers, Board of Trustees, and thank you, new members. Now, I'd like to call and present to you the 9 newly regularized members of PMAP. If you have a representative here, please come up the stage. Asia Brewery Incorporated, Chase Chemical Trading, Chef's Secret Incorporated, Propol DPO Incorporated, HBC Incorporated, iServe Customer Management Solutions Incorporated, we have one there, PCM DPO LLC, Philippine Red Cross, and World Source. Okay. Okay, may we request President one for one picture for one photo. These are our new members, newly regularized members. Okay. Okay, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Lily Content, past President Molly Payos and President Juan Sigismundo. And to our new members, welcome to PMAP.
Good evening, everybody. Or rather, it's good afternoon. It always gets a little tizzy when the weather is like that. It almost feels like saying good night. But it's a pleasure for me to be here in the PMAP general meeting because I've been in the Philippines for the last 2 years and 5 months. And I've been to a few PMAP events, a couple of annual conferences. It's always a great pleasure to meet so many established people from the HR world and managers and leaders of the industry. And it's a pleasure to come here. One common factor about Microsoft and PMAP is everybody uses PowerPoint. Makes me feel great. Please keep using, because it's kind of a bit of bread and butter issue for us. So which is fine. Today I'm going to talk about a topic which is very close to our heart, Microsoft's heart, because we are in this space of making the workplace more flexible and productive and collaborative for industry. And in a way, we also use the similar philosophies in our own workspace to ensure that that we have a more and more a workplace that employees feel energized to be every day, to be at every day, and a workplace that is not limited to a physical office space, a workplace that is more in the mind. And it goes with where the employee wants to be at that point of time. But before I could go there, I would start with a small little video which talks about what essentially this philosophy is. And this is not a Microsoft video, this is something that I had an opportunity to speak with this gentleman. And since then it stayed with me. And every time I speak to an audience like you in a topic like this, I start with this one. So here we go. Hope it works.
I'm T.A. McCann, and I'm an entrepreneur. The future of business is going to be people interacting in more than just one job. That line is very blurry between what's my work and what's my help and what's my community sort of involvement. Do you work 9 to 5? Absolutely not. Are you working all the time? Absolutely not. The blend of when am I working and when am I playing and when am I socializing, that's all gone. There is no line between those things. The new work style is never retirement, because if you're working on what you want to work on, why would you ever want to retire? So I think another aspect of the future of work is that people will move in between jobs at a much more rapid rate. They'll move in, they'll deliver their best effort, and then they'll move on to the next thing where they can deliver their best effort. And that will happen at a faster and faster and faster rate, as opposed to people working at the same company for 30 years, working in the same job for 30 years, working with the same people for 30 years. It's just not the future of work. Part of the new work style is the fact that the ability for you to create connections with people that you don't otherwise know exists much more now than it ever has. And the tools to discover other people and what they're all about exist now more than they ever have. Finding people that you share some common goal or some common outcome or some way that you want to work on something together, whether that's helping them or them helping you or both, that's interesting. That's connecting. That's creating a relationship. That's the part that's exciting. So the future of work is always learning. The future of work is always trying to do something for someone else, not do something for yourself. That leads to relationships, and that leads to more opportunities.
So that starts the basis of what I want to present today, what I want to talk about today in front of all of you. The future of work that we are all embracing by the day is a scary world, at the same time a very interesting one, because this is a workspace which is not going to be defined by an organization. This is a workspace that's going to be defined by the problem we are solving, the customers we are catering to, the audience that we are working with, the people we are working with. And they're going to define where the work is, in what space, in what kind of a mindset they're going to be using to work. They're not going to get defined by our working hours and stuff like that. So there are some things, and I'm not going to talk all the points. These are just some of the shifts that are happening. There was a time when we used to talk about customers. Today we talk about brand ambassadors. There's a time when we used to talk about let's be productive in our own groups and teams. It's becoming fuzzy. We cannot be productive in siloed groups anymore. We need to be collective. We need to be focusing on collective value creation and so on and so forth. The world is changing, and this I think is the most cliched statement at this point of time. Everyone feels there's a lot of change around us. Simply because of technology, the world is not limited to one physical space. What used to be a business based in a particular city, it's no more a business based in city anymore. You have a business, you put it on the internet, it becomes a digital business for the world. So once it's digital business for the world, the rules become global. It cannot be rules based on certain geography, certain city, certain country, or certain continent. And when those kind of rules apply, then we as a company needs to start thinking about how can we have more global, more inclusive, more collaborative workspace. And most importantly, we've got to think about what the employees think. And I don't understand. I'm right now the HR director for Microsoft. We have 200 people working with us. It's the most scariest job on planet Earth. And I'm just managing 200 people because I just don't understand all the 200 people at one time. I was leading a leadership meeting today morning of all my leaders. They're all 40 plus. I can manage them. And then I had a meeting with my college hires. The average age was 22. I didn't know what I was doing in that room. Clearly intimidated by their collective energy. Because when they say yes, they say no. When they say no, they don't know what they're saying. And when they say yes and no, I don't know what they're saying. It's a pretty ambiguous place for me to be. But listen, they are my future. I am a technology company. Technology users are young. They are taking the technology forward. My intention to hire them in the company is because they're going to take this company forward. And they will have to define and we have to listen to them. That's the change that's happening in the workplace. I cannot get them, the new generation workforce, and ask them, now listen, unlearn everything you've learned and become like what I want you to be. I am past. They are future. So my workforce philosophy or my workplace philosophy has to be based on them. So when I start looking at today's organization and compare with the usual org chart of the past, the organization chart is getting disrupted. We don't make organization charts anymore. At least I haven't made it for a while. And just 2 weeks back, we had a major transformation in the company. And suddenly somebody called me and said, listen, we need to send out the new org charts. I had a bit of existential crisis. I haven't made org charts for a while, so I didn't know which box to click and how to do the connector and which is the best org chart tool in PowerPoint. It was a bit of a, technology challenge for me, but yes, because I haven't made that. For us, the biggest piece was which are those collaborative groups where the work happens most. So our org charts have been based on what groups are working, what projects are working. It's the right-hand side model where based on a project, if a group comes together, that's the organization of the present. If tomorrow this group becomes another project team, that becomes the other org chart. So it's a pretty dynamic org structure. At the end, how can these groups work and solve problems? That's the end state we are working towards. Similarly, when we start looking at the new workforce, when we are preparing as an organization, that where is the new world of work going? It's a pretty intimidating process, and let me take you through a little fast-paced, but at the same time, a little slowly to understand and seep in what this entire thing means. So first and foremost is that new rules belong to another universe. The first word this new world of work works upon is flexibility. It's precarious, it's entrepreneurial, it's less and less tied to specific times, places, and employers. Even employees, I was interviewing college graduates 3 months back in a college. I interviewed 12 graduates. 6 of them asked me, what are the projects I'm going to work on? I mean, I never went to an interview in my life where I went to an employer and asked me, do you even have a project worth me? I mean, that's the world we're walking in, where the people are going to evaluate me as an employer thinking about what is the value I'm going to give to them in terms of the projects and the problems I'm going to give it to them. I can't go and show a PowerPoint saying I've got a cafeteria, I've got free food on Monday, we got fruits available every day, and we've got a free clinic and all. Well, dude, that's there. That's given. You need to tell me what am I going to do in my 8 hours of work, and how I'm going to do that. Are you going to put too many rules on me? Because I don't work like that. Would you let me go and do the stuff I want to do, and then in my own way, because that's the best way I can be myself. Otherwise, I need to change my personality. So that's a big part there. So the new rules of work is a pretty flexible one, and employers need to understand that more and more. And as I'm speaking to more and more customers of Microsoft who are interested in productivity discussions, this is one of the big things we talk to HR leaders, that please understand we've got to be flexible, not the employees anymore. So that's where it starts. Then we start looking at few concepts. The first big concept is the everywhere office. We are situated in 6750 in Makati. And those who've been there, we have a Starbucks downstairs. And to me, it almost appears we have an extension of our office downstairs. That's the way it feels, because whenever I don't find somebody in the office, good chances I will find them at the Starbucks. They use the Wi-Fi there more than the free Wi-Fi they have in the office. So somewhere I went to the Starbucks owner and I said, listen, can we have an alliance here? Can we have some sort of a Wi-Fi thing that Microsoft can power? Because my employees use your premises as an office extension, which is good, which is great, because they feel pretty empowered out there. But this everywhere office thing is a big one for me, especially look at the context of the country. I come from India, and people tell me traffic is bad in the Philippines. I invite you to my country. I'll pay for your air ticket, because you will be falling in love with your own country. So much I can't even tell you. In your country, here, you have traffic. Traffic is on the road. Traffic is one behind the other. In my country, I search for the road. And then I feel I'm on the right side, only to realize I'm on the wrong one. So things are little, if I put the perspective, you will fall in love. Trust me, I love driving here. I drive my own car in this country. I love it. It's my energy creation mode. But when I go into the traffic situation, my biggest thing is I was talking to a group of school-going girls. We have a program called as Digi Girls. I speak to school children. And we were talking to girl children who were studying science and mathematics. And I asked them, listen, you were studying science and mathematics because you want to create something for the world. That's why you study science and mathematics. Why do you do that? Then you study technology because you want to create something for the world. So let me ask you a question. What are you going to make for tomorrow? What's that one problem you want to solve? It was an icebreaker question. Trust me, I didn't expect Einsteins to stand up. But there was a little girl, Karen, sitting in front, eighth grade student, and she stood up and she said, sir, I wish I can sleep for a few more hours in the morning. Profound. I put that analogy onto my employees. I came back in the pantry area, people were having lunch. I went and asked, how many hours do you travel from your home? How many hours do you travel from your home? The average came to 45 minutes to 90 minutes. But that's average. I looked at the deviated, most deviated. The most that a person travels 2 hours, 20 minutes. That very day. I mean, that person will be at 20% productivity that day. If you travel 2 hours one way, 2 hours the other, 4 hours of travel, I cannot expect that employee to be in any sort of energized state to be creative, innovative, collaborative for the rest of the day. They can barely just do whatever has been given to them. And as an employer, my mindset has to change that from getting work done to a mindset of how can I get employees to a state where they are energized to do their best, do things that are epic, that are path-breaking, that will change the world for the better one. Microsoft's mission is to empower every human being, every organization on this planet to achieve more. That mission can only be achieved when I am in my topmost state of energy every day. Which is not physically possible if, based on what the organization culture is and all that. It's an empowered state. Think about the day you are the most empowered. It's the day when you have the full control of the day in your hands. It's the day when you're doing things you love to do. It's the day you're doing it on your own terms. Everywhere offers that to us. And the only way we can do is that we can constantly innovate our technology where we can take work to you and leave it with you so that you do it your own way. And that's our fundamental flexible workplace philosophy in Microsoft. We don't have policy on flexible workplace. We never thought that was necessary for us to write one. We have given technology to people and said, this technology is for you to be productive anywhere, anytime. It would be futile if I give this to you and write 10 different policies around it. So it's an understanding that the employees take this responsibility and empowerment in the true and responsible way and do justice with it, not misuse it. And the only tacit understanding we have with them is, you've got to be productive, you've got to be impactful. And that means that you deliver the impact in the right time. It doesn't matter whether you're working nights or days or whatever. People, there are working mothers who choose to be in the afternoon at home, but finish their work in the evening. There are working fathers who ensure that their working wives are given the freedom to go and do their work in the afternoon, so they go home and take care of their children. It happens, they don't have to report this to anyone. We don't have an attendance system. We don't have one. We never felt the need of that. We never had it in Microsoft right from the beginning. We just built on that one. So everywhere workplace is the first big one, and we are trying to preach this idea to as many companies as we can, because we feel if the work can allow you. For example, some companies operate with sensitive customer data. You've got to work in a certain premise. You can't let that data go out. You understand? Manufacturing companies can't happen like this. Other operationally operational companies where you have to go physically or do an operation and do it, you cannot go out. But rest of the work can be looked at, and it's just a mindset of the employers and HR especially to open up and not get afraid what will happen. That fear is very small versus the win that you're going to get at the end of it, really. The second is the changing nature of workforce, and I'm going to talk about it a little more. Culture, I'm not going to spend too much on the last two because that's a part of a bigger, different talk, but the first two elements is something that I'm going to spend a little more time on. So here we go. The Everywhere Office. One of the big things about Everywhere Office, which I just spoke about, what this means. One of the big things was Microsoft's ambition to be the biggest innovator in the world. The biggest drawback in that mission was that we were focusing on getting the best talent in a certain city to work for us. So if I have an office in the Philippines, in Makati, I'm hoping that the best talent in and around Makati is going to work for me. But that is not all. If I'm going to empower the entire world to achieve more, I need to go for the best talent in the entire country. So what my office is in Makati, then my ambition is to then take the work to any corner if I know that there's a good talent in some other city, in some other corner of the country. Then I need to ensure technology can take the work to them so that as a company I'm getting the best person to work. And best person not in a certain city or geography. Best person, period. And that's the first big benefit of working from anywhere. That you can have people who are physically not able to come to you, you can go to them. And then of course you can extend this benefit to your existing employees who can work, move, etc. And tell them, listen, you've got an employment with us, but that means you do your work your own way, where you can feel more energized. If you feel wearing your pajamas in the morning, sitting at home and doing the work gives you the best energy, God help you, just do that. We just want you to be your best self. That was the big one. Second, these are some data that we picked up. We actually went to 1,500 engineers and spoke to them. We actually asked them that what if we allow you to work from a place of your own choice, not just home, what does it mean to you? And they actually said that almost 37% of them said they will take a pay cut of 10%, up to 10%, if they get to do that. 10% is huge. I'll let that sink in. 10% is a huge number. won't even compromise 1% for a lot of things. But here they are. It meant so much to them, they said we can take a pay cut to almost 10% if we can get to work from our place of our choice, because we get much closer to life. Second, 95% of the employers say that telework or any remote kind of working has a huge impact on employee retention. That's a given, basically, because a lot of people who have family commitments, or at least back home in India, we have a system, it's an age-old system I don't completely like, but a lot of women after marriage give up work because their in-laws don't allow them to work. It's an archaic social system, but if the work can come to them, they would love to work. And we would get some of the better talents who, because of social pressures, give up working, and that's probably one of the most immediate sort of benefit out of this practice. And of course, there's cost saving. That sometimes we just look at that number, but that's just the last number, so that's why I'm presenting at the last number. But there is a cost element to that as well. If you have an office which is just for meetings, then if you have a workforce of 400, but you have an office capacity of say 70, 80, or 100, and you use that only when people come together for meetings and nothing else, then so be it. I invite you to be at Microsoft Office. You just give me a call, I will take you around my office. We have a system in the office, nobody has a desk. Although everybody has a desk, but the point is, it's like a new office every day because you sit anywhere you want. Whether you are the managing director, whether you are the new seller who has come to the system, anywhere. Nobody has a desk. And we have a capacity of 65% in the office. We know the office, nobody ever goes by a chance that you don't have a desk. We have a standing desk, we have a sitting desk, we have a standing corner, we have anything. I mean, it's like a pretty fluid office. You can go and park yourself anywhere. But your office is in your bag. And with a paperless system, it's only your computer. You open up, plug in, work, put it all inside your bag, go off. You have a locker to put your things. Yes, you will miss putting up photographs of your family and friends and myself, whatever. But I don't have a corner for myself, but then that's the way work is. Just do some work, but I'm not physically sort of putting a base out there at one place. I'm mobile. I go with the customers, I go and spend some time in the office to do some collaborative work, then I'm home. Why should I be in the office if I don't even have some work in the office with anyone? I'd rather go to a place where I'm energized and do work. Next, what is a changing workforce? I'm going to flip through a little bit of these numbers, but I just want to put this because this was one of the biggest challenges for Microsoft. When we started changing 4 years back, we embraced and we threw the doors open to get more and more new generation workforce. And because Microsoft is a 44-year company, we have a lot of our workforce in the upsides of who are Gen Xers, I'll put it that way. And for them, so hence we were losing out to the competitions of Apples and Googles and Facebooks and Amazons, the born in the cloud companies. So we had to resurrect ourselves, and the resurrection would happen only when we can get in new generation workforce who can come in. So what was the new generation workforce? Now, the millennials, you know this thing about boomers and Xers and millennials per se. There's almost going to be 92 million right now. By 2025, they will be about 75%. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. This is the scary part is still to come. So let's go to it. Now, we ask people, what do millennials care about? What does this new generation workforce care about? I mean, they do care about the physical aspects of it. It's just a myth that they care about this and they care about that. One of the big things that we realize working with them is 60% or more of them care for purpose. Am I coming to the work to do something meaningful, to create a legacy out there that I can go and have purpose to? Because they have to do like 1,000 things in a day. And each of those things must have a meaning with themselves, that they can go and say that I've done something which is some sort of purpose. And the purpose is not because I've obeyed the orders of my boss. That generation is gone. That generation is here standing in front of you, giving this talk. No. This generation, wants purpose. They don't worry who they're working for, really. And as a company, as an employer, got to be very, very empathic about that part. They are actively looking, almost 40% of them, always actively looking. You can't have a grudge against them. They're actively looking doesn't mean they're disloyal to you. They're just looking at where the meanings are high. So you've got to constantly keep them in a meaningful zone. And they plan to stay long term, and very few of them will plan to stay long term. And that's, you can't hold anything against them because they're going after meaning, not going after companies. Right? 70% might reject traditional business models. So Microsoft faces this all the time. We were a traditional company for a long time. 32% believe they will work mainly flexible hours in the future. And this is becoming a big, big ticket differentiation between companies. A lot of new generation talent in the country come to us and say, we'll do an internship, we will even do a contractual employment with you, even though they might be getting full-time employment in national companies and all of that. They say, no, because I want to be in that entrepreneurial climate, rather than getting into a key result area, that kind of a climate. So it's a big thing for us. It gives us a lot of sleepless nights that they want to work flexible. What does that mean to us? How can we be more adaptable to them? So by 2010, today it's about 8% of our employment is about a contingent staff. By 2020, we will be having 14% people. We call that as a gig economy. A lot of people, many of us who have full-time jobs will start actively thinking, can we have a model in our life where we can talk of work 8 months and take a break for 4 months? It's a sustainability model, trust me. The work hours are getting, or the living hours are getting so hectic, people have to think about downtimes. And there's a lot of people who are thinking like that. They live this nomadic life, where they move from gig to gig because that gives them enough time to enjoy their life also, and refresh, go and do some yoga and go and do some sort of spiritual stuff for 4 months, reinvent themselves, rejuvenate, then come back and full-time jump into some gigs there. We're finding that kind of people who come onto the table for an interview of full-time employees and quickly put a proposal on the table. I propose, can you give me a consultant contract? Well, I'll do for 8 months, then I'll go off and come back and do another work for you. I mean, I have to hold myself. How do I even react to this kind of proposals where I have a sort of traditional way of behaving to them? But we as a company have to embrace this, because some of the best talent are going to be in that pool of talent. They know their worth and they want to sell themselves for each and every project, and they're not going to get tied down forever to a workplace. All right? And there's going to be a shortage of skills, so you can't even say, I won't hire these people and go for just the normal traditional employees. No, the skill pool is going to be shortage. So you've got to open up to all sorts of practices for hiring people. So as a system, your culture is going to be your biggest currency. You know, flexible workplace, when the topic came to me, I was always saying that I don't even have slides where I can talk to you about these are the policies, these are the programs. Our simple philosophy is your employment with Microsoft. At the beginning of the year, we give you some core priorities that you've got to achieve. You make an understanding with your manager. What is your impact to work means, and impact is with respect to customers. And then on a quarterly basis, you and your manager sit down. We don't have ratings. We don't have a performance management system. We just have a feedback conversation. Manager and the subordinate sits down and they talk about what impact has been created last 90 days, what could have been better, what impact will be in the next 90 days, what developmental help do you need in that, move on. At the end of the year, the manager sits down and just looks at the team, whose impact was the most with respect to the impact that was expected. And impact, we're not talking about how many programs you've done, impact in the sense, what is a big problem that you solve? And then give them the rewards. So if there is $100 to be spread across, they take the best dollar for the most impactful individual and go with it. There is no calibration, there is no normal curve, there is nothing. Now this model was essential for us to believe that we will give a flexible workspace, because we can't put flexibility and then competition, which is your performance curve and all of that. So we had to first free ourselves from all these traditional performance management systems and let our managers become, take the managers to a mental space where they could let go. It's difficult. When managers come to the office and none of their subordinates turn up the offices, they feel like something else. It's difficult. When they don't have control to look at what my people are doing, they're doing the work somewhere, I don't even know by evening I will land a deal that was expected in the pipeline, it's difficult. But that's the growth that the manager and the culture of the company has to go through, because the work will happen. We will have to let go of the control and create a lot more trust in the system. So, while there's a me generation at play culturally, when we start looking at the new generation that's coming through, they're actually more we. The culture of the company should make sure that we create a lot of groups and let them work in groups. That's a far better system. You give a problem, create a group, get out of their way. Ask them what they need, get out of their way. No micromanaging. Give them a problem, they will solve it much better. I'll give you an example. We've been trying to get to the cloud market of Philippines for the last 2 years. Microsoft is one of the leading players in cloud. As a country, Philippines is embracing cloud at a certain pace. So we wanted to understand what it takes for Philippines companies, especially banking companies and other companies, to embrace cloud. What's the big question that we have to solve? And all these experts, my peers, leaders, we were all doing a whole bunch of, projects and analysis around that. We didn't find anything. We hired 5 interns from leading colleges and institutes. We gave them the same question and went to a room and smirked. These kids, what are they going to do? Well, did they do something? Of course they did. We gave them 3 weeks' time. We said we need a complete analysis of 30 top customers of ours. What are they thinking about cloud? They came with a 60-slide recommendation and almost 3 levels below deep analysis, meeting 3 layers of the organization structure and clearly bringing out where they are thinking their organization should be and where they are thinking cloud can take them and what are the fears that is holding them from embarking on their journey. 2 things happened. We were delighted, of course. So we immediately start working on how we can regularize most of these interns as employees. Second thing, we also felt like dirt. The leaders, scratching our heads. Because we want to take the company to the future, we didn't have a clue. Who gave us the clue? They. What did happen? We gave them a problem, we made a group, we got out of the way. The work happened. And that's a model as a company, as a culture, we've got to go more and more. That's another flexibility, that we take the control away, we take the hierarchy away, we take the organization systems away, and give them their collaborative zone, give them problems to solve. And you related to that slide when I said they work for purpose. That's a huge purpose. Imagine for them to go back in the evening and tell to their colleagues or update their status or whatever they're doing, saying that I solved this problem. That's a huge high. I learned a lot from them. We got a concept of reverse mentoring in our company, where new generation employees mentor some of us, and I have 2 of them. I've learned so much in the last 1 year about the way they go about work. And I'm trying to change the mindset, because that's the only way we can change our culture, by we becoming more and more friendly with the new workforce that we want to get into our company. Ready. So some more stuff there. Innovation is the biggest characteristic and purpose is the biggest characteristic. We've got to, in some form or the other, bring flexibility by giving people the opportunity to innovate more and have a purposeful existence. At the end of the day, you've got a workplace which is collaborative in every sense, where even your performance management system, rewards collaboration and not competition, which is what by experience we can tell you. that today collaboration is awarded, rewarded, so people have to genuinely go and ask these two questions every day. What can I do to help you win? And can you help me please, because I need something from you to win. These two behaviors work in tandem. They can't be unique, they can't be existing in silos. As much as I want to help you to win, I also need to be humble enough to take help from you to win. That's the only way we can coexist. And as managers, we've got to build that system for that to happen. Technology, we are a technology company. A lot of the flexibility of workplace happens when you start investing in technologies. And I'm not going to do a sales pitch. I promise that to my people back home. This is a normal talk. I'm from Microsoft. If you need technology, I can come and talk to you, but not here. Just so that one line, we sell good technology, so please call us. Really, the third one is progress driven. We've got to show constant good progress and impact to our workforce. And they need to understand that progress through their own lens. And lastly, flexibility is not just about work from home. Flexibility is also about everything that a person feels that they are not shackled in any sort of control mechanism. And they can bring their creative self. We hear this term work and life. I'll probably end this. These are just some pictures. I don't know why he's there. I'm supposed to hide them out. Right. So I'll end with this particular slide. You know, we have this whole concept of work-life balance. We all understand that, right? Work-life balance. Anyone here haven't heard this term? Because you will get a clap from everybody else, because work-life balance is probably one of the biggest issues of HR world. We keep understanding that. But when we think about it, it's such a dichotomous question. It almost feels that work and life don't exist together. When you're working, you're not living. Doesn't it sound like that? Work-life balance. So you work and then go home and start living. Till then I was a dead man. No, that's not the way we are looking at it. And so our effort, any company's effort should be that it has to be merged. That's what T.M. McCann said in that video. That it's not going to be, in the future of work, it's not going to be that I'm going to work for X hours, I'm not going to work for X hours. It's going to be, I will increasingly start doing work that I feel is my best work in my life. It may pay, it may not pay, but I need to be honest with myself that I will end up doing. Life is short, I will do stuff that I love to do first. Second, then I will not feel how many hours I'm doing, because I will be always feeling I have less hours because I love that gig so much. So another piece is that, one, we try our people to, when they start get employed with us, we try to see they get to work on things which they love to do. And second thing is we use analytics in a very, informant way. The screenshot that you're seeing, it's not visible out there, but we've got something called as Microsoft Delve. It's a small tool that's residing on every employee's account. It tells you how many meeting hours in a day you have spent. Every day. It's an analytic in everyone's computer. It also tells you how many email hours have you spent. It also tells you how many some hours, which means that how many hours have you got for yourself, thinking time in a day. Then it also tells you after hours, after working hours, how many hours have you worked. This was a very elementary system. Now the workplace analytics, we call it. Workplace analytics has gone through a lot of iterations, and now even we give you a network map. It shows you that within your workplace, who are the people you're networking with most. It's a map based on the emails that's going out of your account, based on the chats you've had, based on the meetings that you had with people. It draws a map out, analyzing all of those activities. And it gives you which is the team you are most aligned with, because the network line is very thick. And there are teams you don't have any network lines with, which shows you've not been networking very highly. Now, all these analytics is nothing to make you feel you're at a Mission Impossible stage or something like that. No, these are to make you more informed. That's another way of flexibility, for us to be informed that are our people getting more shackled in emails? How is that we can take them away from emails and more into conversations and work? So when I see an analytic like this, I'm happy because the people have got a lot of their own time, 25 hours they spend for themselves. and email time is 10. When I see 40 hours of email, and I do see that sometimes, as an HR person, my red bulb starts going up. And it's way more predictive than going by workplace analytics or any employee satisfaction survey, which happens once a year. This is an everyday analytic. Employee sees it, managers can see it, I can see it. It's right there, really. And this is one way for us to understand how we can improve the culture to give more flexibility to people where they can use their time much better. So, at the end, I don't want to make this a big spiel. At the end, it all boils down to that as a company, our mission defines what a company we need to be. When we want to empower every person, every organization, the planet to achieve more, it's first applicable to us. That I should empower myself to achieve more. And that can only happen when I'm in my best self, mentally, physically, spiritually, creativity-wise, sanity-wise, in my happiness-wise, and only when I can bring the best to my workplace. That's our mantra of flexibility. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Pima. I hope you're still awake. Okay? And I want to thank Mr. Sesmundo and all the PMAP organizers here for this GMM for inviting me to speak today. It's an honor for me. And I will be sharing today about something flexible also. No? This is about benefits. And but before that, I want to share, no? Actually, my uncle, my tito, I don't know if some of you know him, he's Attorney Ben Burgos. Actually, he is an uncle of mine, no? And he would be so surprised because I'm an actor by profession, no? So he would be so surprised that I am here before you today doing this presentation. So, Tito Ben, Tito Bird here. Where is Tito Bird? There, at the back. No, Tito Bird actually knows my uncle and very close pala to him. No? Okay, so let me start by introducing my company to you. No? Some of you may know Willis Towers Watson, but some may not be familiar with Willis Towers Watson yet. Okay. So we started as the Wyatt Company here in the Philippines. No? And then we became Watson Wyatt. Hindi yung Watson department store, hindi yung Watson drugstore. But we were Watson Wyatt for a while. And then we became Towers Watson, and then now we are now Willis Towers Watson. And this resulted from a merger in January 2016 of the Willis Group and Towers Watson. Okay? So, from 14,000 employees, we now grew to 40,000 colleagues operating in 140 countries. Okay? And our total revenue is $8.2 billion. Okay? And we have relationships with 90% of the global Fortune 500 and 85% of the US Fortune 1000. So some of you already know about the Philippine Consulting Office, no? So our office has the largest total rewards database. We pride ourselves with that, no? We also have the largest actuarial talent pool here in the Philippines, and we have over 1,100 clients here, including venerable institutions like the ADB, ERIE, and PST, and of course the Philippine government. In 2014, we were granted a license to operate as a broker. Okay, so we now have Willis Towers Watson Insurance Brokers Philippines, and we do benefits consulting as well as broking services. We provide those things, no? And those are just some of the latest projects that we handled. The GOCC project led by President Aquino. This is on the salaries of employees, no, from the GOCC. And then also one of our clients is one of the largest BPOs here in the country, employing about 63,000 employees. Okay? So That's Willis Towers Watson. And now we go to the meat of the presentation. Okay. Before I begin, I want to ask these questions, no, to all of you. These are thoughts to ponder on. Okay, first, what challenges do you have in delivering benefits within your workplace? We always talk about benefits, no? We always talk about compensation, we talk about benefits, we talk about total rewards, no? Okay, but what challenges do you face? Is it rising costs of benefits? Is it because your benefits are not competitive in the market? Is it the delivery of the service? Those are some of the issues that are being faced by HR in terms of benefits. Okay, next question I want to ask you is, how have you been communicating benefits to your employees, and which manner of communication has been most effective for you? That's the second question I want to ask you. And the last is, how do you manage benefits for a multi-generational workforce with varying needs? Mr. Shield earlier talked about, a multi-generational workforce. He mentioned about the millennials several times, and these are things we also want to see today. The new workforce. This is the new normal. Treating employees like consumers. Okay, some of you here belong to organizations, let's say in the FMCG market, no? Okay? And what do you do so that you understand your customers' needs? You do surveys, right? You do pulse surveys, you do market research in order to understand your customers and provide the benefits that they need, provide the products that they need. Okay? The new normal now is to treat employees that same way. Okay? In our 2014 global workforce study of Willis Towers Watson, one of the results there indicated that 70% of employees believe that their organization should understand them to the same degree that they are understanding their customers. What does that mean? Exactly what Mr. Shield earlier said. You need to know what your employees need. You need to know what your employees want. It's no longer employers just dictating everything to employees. But you need to know what they feel, what they need, what they want. The millennials, particularly, is one segment of the workforce that you need to hear. Okay? In fact, most companies now are doing engagement surveys primarily to understand this. Unfortunately, 43% of employees report having an employer that understands them in this way. Only 43%. It's not all employers who are moving towards that direction. Okay? And this is what our workforce is going to be like, no? So, we have baby boomers. Some of them are retiring already at a rate faster than expected. Okay? And these are individualistic, loyal, career-focused. You now have the Gen X, which are your emerging leaders. And then you also have Gen Y, who are part of your workforce. But then you have a new generation coming in, which is your Gen Z. Okay, and your Gen Z are realistic. Your Gen Z, realistic. Your Gen Z are aware. They know what's going on. Okay, and of course, they're also technology native. When we say technology native, exactly the environment that probably Microsoft employs. Right, Mr. Shield? They are technology native. But then you also have baby boomers, who are probably technology driven, right? You also have Gen X, who are probably technology driven. But generally, we see that Gen Z is more technology native. In terms of benefits, this is what they want. They have varying needs. Okay? Baby boomers, what are they looking at now? They're looking at retirement. They're looking at higher life insurance benefits. Diba? Kasi baka, mamamatay na ako. Diba? Kung mag-retire na ako, kailangan mataas na insurance ko. So those, and personal medical. In fact, some of baby boomers are looking for post-medical benefits. Okay? And Gen X will be looking for family medical, personal medical, and retirement benefits. Let's jump to Gen Z. What is Gen Z looking for? Okay? Study support, parental medical, and the rest is cash. Cash, 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 cash. Okay? And that's what we're seeing, now, we've conducted recently with one of our clients, we conducted a focus group discussion. Okay, this is quite fun, because in the group, when we did that focus group discussion, there was a group that was more mature, older, okay, and longer staying in the company. And then there's another group that was 25, less than 25 years old. But the less than 25 years old were more vocal than the older employees. And the group was like 10% millennials and 90% older employees. But the more vocal group was the millennials. And what did they keep on saying? Don't give me benefits. Give me cash, and I will choose my benefits. That's their line. So it's a different, while the others, oh, I like our products. I like our culture. This is what we value. But the millennials will keep on saying, we want cash. We want to choose where to stay. We want to choose our benefits. So it's a different thinking. Okay? Do you see that in your organizations? Those who have millennials here, do you see that in your organizations? Okay, I see some people nodding. Okay, good. Okay. And what will the future look like? The millennials will definitely come in. Okay? And they have a different need compared to us. Let's just face that. And that's one of the realities that I think we need to see in HR so that we can adjust our strategies for the future. Okay. The good news is companies are already adjusting to this. As you change your demographics in your company, you see that in the 1980s, flexible benefit programs were introduced. Okay, cafeteria style of benefits were introduced. And then in the 1990s, the DC plans or the 401k plans came about. Okay? You've seen the paid time off, voluntary benefits, flexible work arrangements, being implemented in most companies. Now, in the 2010s, in the more later years, you see private health care exchanges. You can buy benefits, okay, from a marketplace. It's not just what you provide, one size that fits all, but you can buy these benefits already. Now you see wellness programs in companies. I was, impressed that PMAP is promoting wellness, because what you're doing is that you have videos and you highlight companies that promote wellness. But many companies are doing that now, and of course, corporate social responsibility. So companies are adjusting to these changes in the workforce. Okay, let's talk about sustainability now. So first, we talked about the new workforce. That's one reality that we face as HR. Okay. Benefit costs are already high, okay, and they will continue to increase. Okay, in our survey, 62% of Philippine companies spend over 20% of payroll on benefits, including 20% spending more than 40% of payroll. Okay? 73% of Philippine employers share that rising benefit cost is by far the most pressing challenge they face. compared to 76% in Asia Pacific. And this is one reality that we're seeing based on our Global Medical Trends Survey, 2017, the latest survey. Okay, these are the medical inflation, medical costs experienced in 2015 to 2017. 6.5, 7, 9.6. And it's not even expected to go down. So what we're saying here is, one, medical benefits are continuing to increase. Do you experience that in your companies? I'm sure. I see more nods now. Okay. Retirement benefits, okay, I'll show that later. But let's talk about medical. Just a few, data that we can share with you. This is the result of our 2017 Medical Trends Survey. And here you see that the bulk of medical expense increase is expected to come from, this is Asia Pacific, okay, by the way, from basic medical outpatient and hospital inpatient services. Now in the Philippines, okay, we've seen that outpatient has far exceeded the loss ratio for outpatient benefit is higher compared to inpatient. But what we're seeing in Asia Pacific is these two, particularly hospitalization benefits, will experience higher loss ratios. Okay, and what are the drivers, okay, of this rising medical costs? Unfortunately, the first driver, 74%, for Asia Pacific and globally, overuse of care due to medical practitioners recommending too many services. Don't we experience that here in the Philippines too? Don't we? So what are we saying here? There's collusion, there's doctors who recommend probably more tests. Tama ba yan? We experience that. The second is overuse of care due to employees seeking inappropriate care. Okay? And the third is poor quality or misuse of care because primary, specialty, and facility care are not integrated. So what are we seeing here? It's mainly because of gatekeeping. Correct? And I don't know if we have providers here right now. Earlier this afternoon, there was one, but what we're seeing here is definitely real, It's a lack of gatekeeping. That's why the medical plan can be used. See, the fourth reason is just employees' poor health habits. So, these are things that need to be corrected and changed, no? And that's why we have to look at our medical plans so that we avoid these things. We have to talk to our providers so that we have a better gatekeeping measure in our medical plans. Okay, what are the three most significant factors driving medical costs on a per capita, on a per person basis? Number one here is higher costs due to new medical technologies. So, there are new procedures that are being introduced, by doctors. So now, these have higher medical costs. And then the second is profit motives of providers. And the third is plan design without any cost-sharing feature. I emphasize this because, we are in an HMO country. An HMO country provides coverage from the first peso, right? So because we are an HMO, the coverage is from the first peso. Okay, there is some looseness because, let's say, an employee or even us, we get sick, we go to the doctor, no hesitation, we'll just go to the doctor and pay, right? Whereas if you have a share in the cost, you will think more whether to go or not to go to the hospital. If let's say you have a cost of, let's say, 20% of your claim, you are sharing that. The cost-sharing element of the plan basically helps reduce claims cost. Okay? And so that's why I will share this next slide. This is what's happening. Ito, benefit trends to, benefit trends. These are things that we are seeing that companies are doing now in the market. It's no longer, I will improve this, I will enhance this benefit, I will give this additional benefit. No, that's not the trend that you will see. The trend that you will see is more on sustainability, on making changes in their plans to make the plans more sustainable in the future. For example, in the retirement plan, the first example I will give you. Okay, we are DB country, right? Defined benefit country here in the Philippines because of RA 7641. And that's why now what we're seeing is most new companies are establishing defined contribution plans instead of defined benefit plans. Why? Because of risk mitigation. The cost and the risk to defined benefit plans is higher. So we see that in defined benefit plans, to fund them, the company will spend between 14 to 18%. Whereas in a defined contribution plan, you can fund your normal retirement benefit, comply with RA 7641 if you have around 7 to 9%. Okay? So now, that's why we see so multinationals are even converting their defined benefit plans to defined contribution plans. Okay? Another risk mitigation or for sustainability reasons, these things are changing. Healthcare plans. Okay, most companies now, because of the rising medical costs, are shifting or introducing some form of co-share or co-pay feature in their plan to better manage costs. Leaves. Okay, while it is market practice to see companies provide 15 and up days, 15 or more days of leaves. What we're seeing is some companies now are discontinuing their carry forward and cash conversion policies. Why is that? Of unused vacation leaves and unused sick leaves. Why is that? It's because this unused vacation leaves can become very expensive, especially when an employee retires, right? He resigns. That's part of the separation. Sick leaves, that's being discouraged now to convert them into cash. Why? Because employees tend to go to work and not use their sick leaves so that they can avail of the cash conversion. Do you see that in your companies? Okay? So even in our company, we've seen that, even in our company, we work employee benefits, and we've had to discontinue, and we've never encouraged to provide cash conversion of leaves, mainly because of that reason. We want our employees to rest when they are sick. Okay. Even vacation leaves, because we want our employees to have work-life balance. That's why we're not even encouraging employees to convert their VLs. We want them to take their VLs. Okay? The other is car allowance. Okay? Instead of providing cars, okay, employers are now providing cash or car allowance. No? So basically, it's converting the car. What happens is you pass on the fringe benefit tax. You give it up, and then it's passed on to the employee. So you gross up the amount, so that you can provide a car allowance. Why do employers do this, no? Because when an employee who is entitled to a car leaves, what happens is it's left with the company. So now the employer is problematic about storage of that, parking of that car, maintenance of that car, and all that. So it is better for them to convert the company car to a car allowance. Okay? We're also seeing a lot of employers putting enhancements in their benefits by introducing or by providing de minimis benefits. No? What are these? These are like your rice allowance, your rice subsidy, uniform allowance, okay? Laundry allowance, are just examples of these de minimis benefits. No? And to share, Who here still provides actual sacrifice? Okay. What problems do you encounter when you provide a sacrifice? What's that? Delivery, okay? Right, delivery is a big problem. Another one is storage, right? I mean, you can have some surprise in your bodega and they can be infested with rats, no? Yeah, so those are common problems that you encounter when you provide actual sacrifice. So that's why most employers now, instead of providing the sacrifice, they are providing a rice subsidy and in the form of an allowance. Okay. Another one is, of course, flexible benefits, no? Actually, flexible benefits is not typical market practice, no? Providing flexible benefits is still not typical market practice. But from our 2015 Asia Pacific Benefit Trend Survey, we've seen that there is really an increasing interest in flexible benefits, no? And flexible benefits is actually a form of delivery of benefits, no? You allow employees to choose the benefits. It is not a one-size-fits-all. You allow the employee to choose either the benefit level or the benefits that they will avail of instead of the current benefits that you are providing. Okay? And we've seen that some companies who are not ready to introduce a FlexBen are introducing some form of flexibility in their plan. Okay? I will share with you about one client, of ours, no? And this client actually, no, one of the things that they discovered was they wanted to introduce FlexBen. Okay? So we did a benefits review, compared it, benchmarked it with the market, okay, and then we also did a focus group discussion. Okay? When we did the focus group discussion, and this is the pharma industry is a very generous industry in terms of benefits. Now, when we did the focus group discussion, we realized that the employees were still not happy. They were spending more than 40% of their payroll on benefits, but their employees were still not happy. Okay, and one of the things that we discovered was flexible benefits, they were not ready for FlexBen yet. Their problem was mainly on the communication of benefits. So oftentimes, things are realized when you do a feasibility study. When you look at what your employees say, when you look at how you fare in the market, when you look at the utilization, you realize, okay, what's the real problem? Is it increasing benefits because there is a clamor for this? No. Sometimes you really just have to look, are we giving benefits that our employees need? And here, this is one example. In the Philippines, okay? The biggest spender in Asia Pacific is the Philippines in terms of benefits. Okay. 18% are spending 40% or more of payroll on benefits. 20%, 30% to 40%. Okay? So we are the biggest spenders. And why is that? We really provide a lot of benefits to our employees. Okay, compared to the rest of Asia Pacific. So, in fact, okay, this company that I was talking to you about, they really provide a lot of benefits. Again, the problem is the benefits are not appreciated. This other company that we worked with, okay, they had more than 50 benefits. They are offering more than 50 benefits to their employees. When their president asked, can you name someone here in this organization who can name all the 50 benefits that we have? The president said, not even our HR can name all of them because that's how many benefits they have. Okay? But see, their problem is not just the provision of benefits. Their problem is the benefits are not appreciated by their employees. How would you feel knowing you're the employer and you would be spending more than 40% and then the benefits are still not appreciated? Of course, you want some changes to happen. So this is one result that we got, apparently. Not all employees are happy with the benefits that they're being given. And I'm going to share this case study with you, no? It's understanding benefit costs. Okay. So here in this report, what we did was we benchmarked company ABC's benefit spend to market. Okay? We compared it with P25, P50, and P75. So that's 25th percentile, median, and 75th percentile. Company ABC was spending 20% on retirement, but the median spend is only 10.5% on retirement. Okay, company ABC was spending 6.8% on medical, but the market was spending 7.7% on medical. So you will see here that there is more investment from the company on retirement compared to medical. This is a BPO. Their employees are millennials. So what they saw and discovered from this when they did a focus group discussion is there is a mismatch. They're spending more on retirement, which was not a benefit that was appreciated by employees. So you see, if you don't understand, if HR or management does not understand where the money is going, and HR does not understand what employees need, okay, there will be a mismatch. And your ROI will not be as high as you want it to be. We understand that? Okay, so those are mistakes that we make sometimes because we really do not know what our employees want. What can provide a better ROI? These are the things that we discovered, no? High perceived value of benefits increases 3 times when employee insights are taken into account. Asking your employees, what do they need? What do they prefer? Okay? High perceived value of benefits increases 4 times when employers effectively communicate their benefits. Do you know that one of the reasons why employees do not understand, employees do not appreciate their benefits is because they do not understand their benefits. That's the main reason. I will not be able to use a benefit until I use it. I will not appreciate that benefit, right? You agree? So that's one of the things that there has to be a focus on how to effectively communicate benefits. Okay. Another finding is high perceived value of benefits increases 2 times when employers handle employee life events effectively. Okay. In one of the companies that we worked with, no, they were doing flex on their plan. And apparently their website was not even being visited by employees. You know why? It's because it was a shopping experience that they were experiencing. When their employees were much younger, it really worked. And then when they started crossing life stages after 2 years, which means when they were getting married, when they were having children, the shopping experience was not enough anymore. So they needed a plan that was more suitable for their needs. Okay? So a well-designed and implemented benefit choice plan can support higher ROI from your benefits. So the appreciation level and the spend would more or less match if you consider what your employees need and want. Developing a benefits roadmap, what we do. Sometimes we increase or enhance benefits, no? Sometimes we reduce benefits, and sometimes we are told by our owners that there will be a need for benefits harmonization. Okay? When you enhance or increase benefits, you have to ask yourselves, what is the objective? Okay, is it to align with market practice? Is it a benefit that employees will appreciate? Is it aligned with companies' benefits philosophy? You ask, what is the cost impact? Is the cost sustainable in the long run? When you reduce benefits, okay, sometimes there is a need. Why? Because you see that utilization is very high. For example, we're working with one because their problem is the utilization cost of their free drug to employees has become very high. Okay? And they have to ask themselves, do we continue this? So now what you ask yourself, do we want to still align with market practice? Do we want to align with companies' benefits philosophy? Or the costs are just no longer sustainable in the long run? So what are the legal implications? Is it a diminution of benefits? You ask yourselves that. Will benefit be grandfathered or will the benefit be bought out? Those are things that you do. And again, the last question to ask, what is the cost implication of this change? Is it sustainable in the long run? Benefits harmonization usually occurs in mergers and acquisitions. Okay? Again, is it a global directive? Will benefits be aligned? Will there be a diminution of benefits? Those are things you examine when you do harmonization. But at Willis Towers Watson, of course, this is the approach that we take, no? And we recommend this approach to most employers. Okay? It's alignment. Alignment of your goals, your business goals, your employees' preferences, and then the risks and the costs associated with them, and then of course your enablers, like your communication, technology, and admin enablers. Once you do all these things and optimize them, you are able to optimize the benefits that you provide to your employees. And you have a better ROI that comes out from it. Okay, I said communication enablers. Okay? These are different things that we see that can be done, no? Most employers, and this is common, we've done several FGDs, they say, well, our benefits were communicated to us only at onboarding. Okay, one time lang. So now, the people's clamor is to be refreshed so that they understand the benefits better. Okay? So, and then we've done FGDs where we asked, what is the mode of communication you want? Okay, for this company that I was talking about, some said, we want email blasts. Okay, the other one said, another group said, no, we want town hall meetings. And then another group said, no, we want special one-on-ones with our line manager. So that's very common. And that's why even communication avenues should also be asked from your employees. Kasi, di ba, you provide the benefits and still they're not appreciated. Maybe because they're not understood. That's the real problem. So you have to find out what your employees want so that they are able to understand their benefits better. Technology. How will you manage without it? Imagine nyo, kung walang HR systems, that help you. Payroll. How do you manage payroll if there is no tool to help you? Okay? So these are the things that are needed so that you're able to better deliver your benefits. No? Now, HR is no longer the administrator. You're no longer in the back room. Most employers require HR to be strategists. Right? Right? You agree with me? Okay? So, you do not want to be consumed with all these things, all the admin work and all that. You want to be able to plan. Okay, most employers now are planning for 2025, 2030. So you need to have a strategy for 2025, 2030. A strategy when your workforce is just so differentiated. How will you optimize? That needs to happen already. So to end my presentation, I just want to share some key takeaways for this discussion. No? Employee choice. Okay, it's turning out to be an important factor in determining benefits. Of course, the number one factor is still management buy-in. But employee choice or employee preferences or employee needs must be considered. When designing or changing benefits, consider sustainability in the long run. Do not provide benefits that you cannot sustain. Maybe because it's market practice or it's a clamor of your employees. You have to consider its sustainability in the long run. Okay, and communication should be purposive and consistent. Hindi enough yung onboarding plan, right? And then optimize the use of technology in delivering, communicating, and in employee choice. You cannot have an effective, flexible benefits program if you do not have a platform to administer it. So technology is really very important. So that ends my discussion today. I hope you were able to get something from the discussion. Thank you.